Bangladesh has a richly deserved reputation for being the most densely populated country on earth. And the people have diverse backgrounds. As India divided at the end of British rule in 1947 and Pakistan split to create Bangladesh in 1971, some ethnic groups were left isolated. Here in the regional capital of Chittagong City, the influence is mainly Muslim, but there's a substantial Buddhist presence too, from an ancient tribal people known as Jumas or Chakmas. According to human rights campaigners, they've been subjected to vicious abuse.
For the last 20 years, these people are suffering, and this secret killing is going on. There are many incidents that we don't know. At the interior, how many girls are raped? I have a lot of incidents, how many girls are raped by the Bengalis, by the army, by the DGFI, which is not coming to the press. And this is really, I feel, this is really inhuman.
The Buddhist tribes lived for centuries on land known as the Chittagong Hill Tracts, but a 20-year-old government policy of settling the area with Muslim Bengalis has led to bloody clashes. The Bangladeshi army imposed military rule to combat a Chakma guerrilla group, but the army is also accused of killing innocent civilians, most recently at a massacre at Nania Char last November.
কিন্তু ওইখানকার লোক ব্রাশ ফায়ারের সাথে সাথে লোক মারা গেছে কিন্তু আর্মিরা ওইগুলো কিন্তু করছে মানে আমাদের পাহাড়িদের ওইগুলো ফেরত দেয় নাই
Nania Char village is just across the Kaptai Lake. It was market day. No one knows how many died. Local people say more than 100. The official figure is 13. Survivors say boatloads of settlers laid into a student demonstration with iron rods, spears and machetes before the army joined in with guns. One student, Baihari Lai Chakma, spent a month in hospital with head injuries after the incident. A refugee camp on the Indian side of the border with Bangladesh. The history of oppression against the 13 tribes has led 56,000 people to flee from their homes in the hill tracts and settle here. They're confined to the camp and survive on meagre rations from the Indian authorities. Many bear the scars, physical and mental, of encounters with the Bengali settlers and the Bangladeshi army. This man is still marked by an attack in 1971. He was one of only 3 survivors from an entire village. This boy was relatively lucky. His elder brother was snatched by settlers in 1986 and never seen again. This man says he just survived a bayonet attack by the army, but his first 2 children were killed in front of his eyes. The refugees have long campaigned against being sent back to the hill tracts. They say they fear a repeat of the massacre at Logang village 2 years ago, in which hundreds of people were said to have been burned to death. The official death toll was 13. Back in Dhaka, the one tribal MP in the Bangladeshi parliament says it amounts to a policy of genocide.
The Bangladesh government adopted some policies which I mean to say the ethnic cleansing of minority people in Bangladesh, especially in Chittagong Hill Tracts.
Yet, with official pomp, the first of the refugees have started to return from India across the river border to Bangladesh and the hill tracts. They'll find themselves a minority in their own lands. 400,000 Bengali settlers have swamped the tribal areas, putting extreme pressure on space and resources. Yet government policy is for all 56,000 refugees to return over the coming months.
Survival International is extremely worried about the repatriation taking place. The Bangladeshi government has made promises in the past of safety once the refugees return, but they have only faced massacre and torture on return to the Chittagong Hill Tracts. Nothing has changed there. There is still massacres and tortures taking place. The whole situation is a tragedy. The land is there, but the Bangladeshi government has made it quite clear that they want the land and they don't want the people.
Well, Bangladesh government has repeatedly told them that they will be responsible for their lives and properties as they are responsible for any other citizen of Bangladesh. There is no discrimination between them. Besides that, a number of delegations from the refugees themselves, along with the people from Government of India, came and visited the places where these people will be resettled, or whether they will be settled in their own homes, and they have made sure before they took this step of coming back that they will be safe.
The Chakmas hardly endeared themselves to Bangladesh by siding with Pakistan when the country divided, and they did wage a bloody guerrilla campaign against the new country. But despite official denials, there's considerable evidence of army involvement in torture, rape and killings against the Buddhists. And the tragedy of the indigenous tribes of the Chittagong hill tracts seems by no means over.